أهلي يونايتد بانك.
كود 6.
زين. كويس أوفر.
زين.
ناطرينك.
خلي أحول عندك.
ليك.
I like this one. Much better.
عاد ساكن ننتقل عاد.
Stable now because I'll set up time.
Sit here. There is a flat extension.
Okay, so now I'll just give you a brief introduction about the Django REST framework and show you a very simple implementation of it. And then Abdullah will show us how to consume it using Android, using JLoop, right? Loop J, yeah. So Django REST framework is a framework that will create an API out of your Django models. You're familiar with Django or not? Yeah, okay. So Django, you have models. You can store models, you can have views, everything. So it will expose those models using in a HTTP API, a RESTful HTTP API, in a few lines of code. The things that are good about it is that it's comes built in with a browsable API like this, so you can have your developers be familiar with the API before using it and know exactly how to use it. And I'll just go straight to the example.
ترى ما يبين شيء ها؟
ما يبين شيء ها؟ Okay, I'll try to zoom.
ولا هذا.
لا شو this is a good feature. Pie chart, you know pie chart.
Actually, don't tell me about it.
Okay.
Is it good?
No, it's better than good, but can I zoom here? Shall I reduce the? Let me reduce the.
resolution of the camera.
Thank you.
Come sit here. This is
بس هني يسوي زوم اوت.
is already a very high now.
هني يسوي زوم اوت.
خل هذا شيء. But it's very high. The higher version of all.
اوه ستريت.
خليه ياخذ وايد سكرين.
Hey,
اي ستريت.
that.
the one who
نزل
was
تحت.
Above it?
تحت
تحت
down,
تحت.
down, down. Oh, no, it says stretch.
Stretch? I think it was stretch.
Yeah,
That's what
that's
we're
it. Yeah, you're right. So clear now.
The proportions are.
أفضل.
maybe.
Perfectionist. تعود على 1080p.
Okay. So if you are familiar.
We're using from full screen to full screen.
This?
Yeah, and then full screen.
I will switch back.
This is better. Just use the 4 fingers for switch from full screen.
Okay. Okay.
شوية
So-
زوم إذا ممكن.
بعدك.
شوية بس.
Yeah. Perfect.
Not readable enough?
إيه.
Okay. If you are, I think there is no time to go through Django itself, but this is a Django project, and it only has one app that we called very creatively named Twitter. Okay, and the model it also even has only one model that's called Tweet. Okay, so I'm already not following the best practice that was mentioned there by having it singular, not plural.
That's your resource name. So it doesn't.
Yeah, I can expose it using a different name. So this is the model. Only Tweet. It has maximum of 140 characters, and these are auto-generated just to be able to sort them. So let's see how, of course, in Django itself,
Already
I
got
can,
water. For me?
there's always a latency spike on the first request for Django.
So this is what?
Okay, so this is the admin. This is how it looks in the database. This is just a skin overview.
This is the Twitter Django REST. Something that I wish.
This is the admin. Sorry.
Where is it?
Don't let up. I didn't WordPress. I didn't.
Yeah, there was one that turns it like, you know WordPress happens?
Yeah.
Turns it to that way. That's what it is. The Unicode should always return the Unicode object.
Huh?
The Unicode should always return the Unicode object.
You mean like this?
Yes.
Thank you.
That's practice.
Right. What do you think chunks that one? Oh, you don't know who was it? 17?
Okay, so this is the list of the tweets, and by the way, this admin interface comes for you included in Django itself. We haven't touched the Django REST framework yet. In order to add the Django REST framework, all we had to do is, of course, add it as in the settings. Add it as an application. Django REST framework, as you can see here, and then include these settings. I've intentionally kept it very simple. The default model serializer is one. I can overwrite it, but I just used the default one. By hyperlinked model serializer, it means it will link the model. If you have a foreign key, it will link it to the other foreign key. And the permission class, you can specify the permissions here. What type of permissions, if you want to include auth or admin only, or use the user's authentication that comes ships with Django, you can specify it here. But for simplicity, I've kept it open, which of course will never be done in production. I'm allowing any request, no need to authenticate or anything. This settings or this dictionary of settings you added to settings.py, and then in urls.py you add you import your model. And then import, these are the things you have to import first. From REST framework, you include you import the view sets and you include the routers. Okay, and then you define the view set, tweet view set. We define we are inheriting from model view set. And specifying that it's view set of the model tweet, which we of course have to import also. And then we create a router. We're using the default routers and registering view sets on this router with tweets. So here I'm following Burhan the good practice, because here I'm adding I'm using a plural name here. Because this is what will be added.
Well, speaking as good practice, I believe we shouldn't define classes within URL.
Yeah, of course.
So this should go on views.
Yeah, it should go on views and should go separately. But for the sake of
actually, you can just do tweet view set as view model equal to it never.
Yeah, but this is more verbose and it will be better for explaining the concepts of this. Of course, in production, your URLs should be only specifying the URLs, and use only just passing the request and sending the response. But only for explaining, we are including everything here. And then here's the URL. I'm using the URL API, and then I include router.urls, the thing that I've just generated, and it will take care of all the API, and maybe this is all the code I need to write for this simple case. Now, if I go to that URL API, Django REST framework will create this control panel for me. Here it's giving you information about the endpoints that we have. We have the endpoint called tweets, which we created. If we create another model, we will have the rest.
Where is the version now?
Yeah, I haven't included it. But if I change it now, it will break Abdullah's example later. So I will not use it. This is the tweet list. This is the tweet that we used to test.
Okay.
Okay. And this huh? Live shade awake. Hello, I'm Bar. he just added this. I can test it here by adding.
Start calling your API.
Yes, you can stop coding. You can stop coding from.
It's on.
Okay, I'm Hamid. And this is the good thing about the Django REST framework. It gives me all this for without any effort. So what I did when we created the application, I just gave this URL for Abdallah, and he was able to figure out what verbs he can call this endpoint with, what's the URL, everything. No need to provide him with any more documentation. Did you add anything?
No.
And I can I know you want IPython, but I will use PPython just to. I can call it from Python or from Django or from anywhere. My URL should be this tweets. So as we saw before, if I hit this URL with post, it will post the tweet. Let me first hit it with the get and let you see what I can, what I will get. By the way, I'm using requests here. Okay, it already gave me the error, the status code. I can print it here. If I get text, I'll get this blob. I can get JSON instead, which will be the same thing because the request is JSON. Anyway,
it will load S automatically.
Sure.
Request is a separate.
Request is excellent. You should use it. You can start hitting the API. Does it not work?
Click on your mouse.
1:30. Okay, this is what I'm getting. I'm getting a list of all the tweets in JSON. If I want to write to it, I can requests post. Hit the same URL, but this time with post method, and include in the data tweet. What should I write here? From GDG Kuwait. Okay. That, okay. This one. So now if I use
see
it,
the response?
the last one is from GDG Kuwait here. If you want to see the response, it's 201, which is created. Before 200, which was get. Okay, so now I will let Abdullah show you the application that he wrote on Android that talks to this API, and we can see how we will fit the URL. So it's like that, or تبي الإيميوليتر ولا التليفون؟ الإيميوليتر أحسن. We should have a cable that does anyone have a cable that can project Android screen here?
تلقى عن طريق الكمبيوتر نفسه. اي تبي تنزل بس الوصله عندي اياها وينزل ابلكيشن.
ايوه عندك اياها الحين؟
اي
بس لا الابلكيشن نازل على تليفونك.
اي حط تليفونه بس يعرض التليفون على الشاشه.
يعرض التليفون على الشاشه الابلكيشن؟
اي
اوكي.
ينزل بس من عنده اندرويد سكرين كاست.
لا نبي نعم. اي
راح يعرض التليفون على الشاشه.
في سبيشال كيبل ولا يو اس بي كيبل؟
يو اس بي كيبل.
TV doesn't take USB.
شغله او سكرين شوت.
محمد سوي لوك حق السكرين عندك خله نص الشكل من غير ما تسوي سناب فايل.
سلام. نزلها بالإيميوليتر وبالهذا بس سكرين شوت.
ما نشوف كلنا من الإيميوليتر هني.
على ما يشتغل ده
لا مو إيميوليتر.
He's starting an Android emulator, so it will be a 15 minutes break.
تبيها سنان؟
شنو ايه؟
عندي بقى.
عندك اياه؟
شغل
الوصل.
حطوه هاتش. ها تبي؟
نايس كمان.
هذا نمسك لابتوب فيها
سكر فتاو 17 بس مطقع
اكو شيء يطلب عليه
كمان السيستم بايثون
واحد يصاب
بايثون كمان
بالناطر
لازم تسافر
عيالي امريكان هم مسلمين والده
اخذ لابتوب قطع ما يخرج
سكرين كاست ولا شو اسمه؟
خلاص
سكرين كاست لو يحطه على التليفون خلاص راح بس لازم انزل التليفون لازم انزل جهازي
بس اريح ما رديت الامريكا ليش انا في
تقنين الماستر ممتاز.
عندي كارجو
لا ماسك شخور والصفر
في مذهب حق
13 ساعة
في عندنا احتمال الاثنين.
انا ما كنت مرتبط بنبتين الماستر انت الرزاق فهد اي فهد يكمل سلمان وعمر اسماعيل ناصر اللي يكمل والفاشيو السوبرفايزر ولا؟
كمان حط صور بجوجل بلس وقاعد على تليفون.
الحياة صعبة. ايوه.
اوكي تمام الحين نقدر نشوف So out of just those few lines I created on Django, I was able to enable Abdullah to build an app that talks back to that Django project that we created, and he created this Android application.
This is a simple Android application. We use the given tab and swipe. Here you can write the message. Send. And here you can get from the send.
Okay,
Tweets or tweets?
it's
For this class, this is the view.
ترى ما يبين شيء.
ما بين الكود.
الكود.
sorry.
On clicking the button, this method will be called. Here we are taking the message from the text, and here is the loop.j library. This is the HTTP client. Here we have the request parameters, which is the message. And here is the post request. This is the URL. I wrote it here for yeah. It's easy to change in the future. So you just change it here. All your code will be changed. And, this is the request parameter, which is the message, and this is will handle the request, the response. On success, the library will check for the code, will check for everything. So if it's success, it will enter here, and I will remove the text from the edit text and show a toast message set. And this is the code for
So here when it says on success, know that by the error code the REST framework is producing. So as you can see, I didn't have to worry about hard coding the error codes or anything. Just with those few lines was able to create this features.
There's on failure. If there's any error, you can put your message here. For example. Toast, message not. So on failure, it will show you this toast. So you don't have to worry about the code, the error, the
Checking.
yeah.
This is LogJ, huh?
Yes. And here is the list.
Java.
This list, when you press on this refresh button, this method will be called. Like the other class, we are using here the loopj client, and this is the get request. This is the request URL. You are getting tweets here. And on success, this string will return you the JSON file. So we are parsing it here. It's a JSON array, and we are getting the JSON object in this loop. For each JSON object, we are getting the string tweets.
Because it's returning a list of objects. The endpoint is returning a list of objects. So this traversing over that list and only getting the tweet from those single objects.
And here we are just adding the list, the array messages to the list view.
في شيء هذا
شكل الجهاز يعني انت حطيت تليفونك على هذا هني لا تحطه.
هني؟
اي
ليش؟
في الماجنت مال هذا التليفون تحطه عليه ياخذ راح سليب.
يسويها
ودائما مرات تصير.
ذكي زيادة عن اللزوم الماك.
هو الماجنت فوق الليد يكون قدام.
الماك يصير.
Abdullah, you didn't have to check for the error codes manually, so it does it on its own.
Because I'm using like
It's implicitly done using the on success.
Like you don't have to check if code is 201 that tweet is sent. It knows it's up.
On success does this for you, I think. Right? That's the case. So I think it's using the convention of
Which is loopj or
yeah.
loopj. Yeah.
For iOS you can find libraries.
REST kit, I think, for iOS.
Dealing with HTTP in iOS is not
There is-
as easy as Java.
There is REST kit.
Yeah, there are a lot of libraries, but Java is much easier. Let me tell you.
This is easier. I don't want to see Objective-C.
That's it for consuming the API in a mobile application.
Can we provide this code?
Yeah.
So the simple code for Django REST framework is already on GitHub. We can upload this so that you can see it as an example of producing the API and consuming it. I'll post inshallah on Google Plus. I will post the links to this code as soon as he uploads it.
ذكرت شنو شو كان؟
يعطيكم العافية مونيستر دو. يعطيك العافية عبد الله. Now we're done with the presentation to just open discussion or سؤال.
On success, there was another on success with the text JSON object.